Okay guys, welcome to the stream. How are you all? Hey Rahil, Adia, nice to see you back Adia, welcome back. And G and Josh, welcome guys. Welcome. We're going to stream a little bit of Citystate2 today. Start a new city for the live streams, and if this series does well, we'll carry on live streaming it. If not, we'll never see it again. so yeah, we're just going to start building up a new city together. But welcome to the stream, I hope you're all okay. And let's play a little bit of Citystate2. I've sunk a little bit more time into the game since we played it on the video, and kind of getting to grips with it a little bit more. Okay. There were a lot of very kind of similar themes and vibes that we can get on board with in City Skylines. And you absolutely have to embrace the grid, so we'll see how it goes anyway. Actually off today, so looking to catch you, that's good idea, that's good. Hey Stuart, welcome to the stream mate. Welcome to the stream. So with some off-camera testing, this is the kind of game where you really have to be careful with the roads. If you start building a lot of heavy roads straight away, you're going to run into heavy financial difficulties. So we'll see what we can do here today, okay? We'll see what we can do. Roads take some getting used to as well. a tiny little bit. It's almost like you're painting the texture of the actual road on, right? So we'll start getting some residentials in here as well. Hey Casino, welcome to the stream, buddy. How are you? How are you? We got 24 people here already, guys. Appreciate the support on the Citystate stream. Okay, so we'll get some power and water production in. So why don't we bring... If we're going to treat this as our main street, we'll upgrade this into what we would call arterial for our city fanboys, right? At some point, so let's come off the bottom and start to provide some little industrial spaces. This game is very similar to SimCity 4 for those that might have played it way back in the day. Let's grab a water tower as well. Pop it on the corner. Okay, so let's get some commercial in as well. So why don't we start bringing some roads around the back. So when you place the government buildings, you can't actually delete them, or relocate them rather. So it kind of makes building the capital quite important, because once it's down, you can't move it without starting a new city. So we'll see how it goes. Hey Sunken Ship, welcome to the stream, and Jacob as well. Hope you're all okay, guys. Let me know how the game audio is as well. It's the first time we're streaming Citystate, so if the audio is a little bit out of balance with the voice, do just let me know. Okay, let's bring the retail tax rate down to 3. And then we'll want to start zoning up some industrial here in a second as well. Hey SPD, welcome to the stream, mate. Okay, so let's reach population of 750. Let's carry on bringing out our residential grid. So I'm kind of hoping we can save a nice space here in the middle of the city for all the government buildings and make some kind of nice plaza vibes about it. Because I've been playing with the detailing as well, and it is possible to detail in the game. The pedestrian paths don't really get used, which is a bit of a shame, but we can pretend, right? We can always pretend. Let's bring this down through the middle again as well. No, yeah. So very similar kind of start, just keeping your eye on those demands. It's actually been kind of tricky to move from city-state to cities, because in cities I pay no attention to the demands at all. I just play to make the city look good. But you can't do that here. you have to get used to it. I'm lurking, no sound, but have fun, no worries, Eggsy. Thanks for stopping by anyway, mate. Okay, let's keep that retail space coming in as well. We'll also play with the terraforming today as well and see what we can do with that. It does cost money, I believe, doesn't it? But if we level terrain, actually also delete a whole bunch of these trees so we can see what we're doing a little easier. Let's come down from like this corner. There we go. Okay, and then let's level the terrain out. Up and against the road. There we go. Okay. Hey Timo, Joshua, welcome to the stream, guys. We've got 31 people here. Appreciate all the support on the Citystate, guys. It's very generous. It's always difficult expanding out of the new game, you know, but I think we can all get on board with the new city simulator. Even if it is a little bit hard to digest sometimes, but we'll get there eventually, right? Okay, let's keep the residentials coming in and getting towards that population of 750. Pop our game on 3 speed and we should be there in a second. Wonderful. So now it wants us to build the first government building, which is like the head of power, right? So we don't have the tax income yet to support some nice tarmacked arterial roads, so we'll just draw in with dirt for the time being and then upgrade later on. Okay, so let's give this maybe a little supporting road network. Alright. See if we can draw some parallels into cities today. Okay, so let's place this in here. It's going to give us 2 new policies as well. So in terms of their healthcare, I think we'll go for a compulsory public private funded plan. Let's enact that. That's going to cost $12. And then their unemployment. So that's going to throw 20% negative approval from the right. Okay, let's go for that then. Let's get that in. I also want to redraw this road in too, because it's not quite central. What was the distance here? 60? Okay, let's redraw that then. Just take this away. This should work, right? Let's go for 55 instead. Yeah, you can kind of see how the roads work. It does take some getting used to. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, so we'll upgrade these roads later on. And then let's start adding in some education. So we're coming for a primary school. Again, if we're going to upgrade this into arterial, I don't want lots of important buildings around here, so why don't we place this somewhere in the suburbs, maybe on the corner here, right? I do like that we can upgrade the buildings as well. This is really cool. It does boost their upkeep costs, so we can't do it quite yet, but we'll see how it goes. Hey Vendra, Pam, welcome to the stream, Rex as well, and Jay. So let's activate another generator, and now we want to reach a population of 2k. So it's fairly hard to lose the start. It's really not that difficult. It's just about kind of working with the grids, and I haven't made it too far into a city to find out what the traffic hierarchy is like yet. It's kind of seems a little bit weird. Not too much traffic information, but we'll keep playing with it. See the land value. Yeah, so the land value is a lot higher around here. I think when we're playing with parks as well, kind of placing down these little plazas out front, and this really helps to increase the land value. And we can do some nice designs with these as well with the pedestrian pathways if we start bringing in maybe kind of one down here, right? And we probably want to level the terrain out first, to be fair. That's probably going to be a little bit easier. Let's maybe do it over here. So you're placing these little like plazas and gazebos, but they don't seem to get much use, and you draw these little pedestrian pathways around them. And there's little kind of tricks you can do to flesh them out and make little kind of separate plazas like this, so it's cool, but they don't get any use. Maybe that'll get patched in. Can you please stop making me go back to play City Sims with your beautiful cities and soothing voice? I did my time. Sorry, Adrian. Sorry, Adrian. So yeah, there's a few different things we can do here to make it look a little bit nicer, but we'll just kind of keep our eye on it, right? Okay. Zada's got broke, his country in Citystate, did he? Yeah, I was starting to go broke in my first city as well. It's definitely a different way of getting started than it is in City Skylines, that's for sure. Okay, let's keep an eye on demands. Got a tiny little bit of industrial demand as well, so let's maybe focus on bringing out these little industrial gravel roads for a little bit. No, that's residential. Don't do that. We want industry. Let's pop our game on 3 speed too. Start moving up towards that population milestone. But 40 people here. Welcome, guys. I didn't expect so many of you for a city-state. Do appreciate you turning up. Okay. First time seeing this game. It looks interesting. Something along the line of City Skylines. It's more of a mix of SimCity, Cities Skylines, and Tropico. It plays very much like the old SimCity games. So if you play like SimCity 3 and 4000, it's you'll be quite familiar with it. What is the goal of the game? Is it milestone unlocks like cities? Kind of for the start, yeah, but once it's established, it's all about you know, kind of. One second, let me pause the game here until we build an immigration office. So we click our approval. You know, you're kind of setting up your government type as to whether or not you're going some kind of dictatorship or very socialist or liberal or quite centralist, and then balancing all your policies out on like pensions and healthcare and stuff that influence all these graphs. So you can see now we're moving slightly more civil rightsy, more towards liberal and socialist structures. So yeah, it's not so much like you move through all these population milestones like cities get you to do. But hopefully we'll see today, casinos we play together, right? We'll see what kind of happens. Okay, so let's tether the immigration office onto the side of our little government complex that's going to develop in the centre of town here. So we'll go for this one. Okay. This is going to give us some border control, so let's let everyone in from the least developed countries, and I think I had it for about 30 and 20 for the next two. Okay. Not bad. Have to get back to work. Have a good stream, mate. Thanks, Sunken Ship. Thank you for showing up. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day at work. It plays like the old SimCity games, right? So building a block of 9 residential squares, putting a amusement park or zoo in the middle, it win overnight and prosper. Exactly, casino. Exactly that. That's the how to start for 2020 guide, right? So why don't we start bringing maybe some nicer pathway designs around the sides of our government buildings now? Give them a little more sugar and spice. We also want a place of worship as well, so let's go ahead and grab a church, shall we? Why don't we kind of throw this in the middle of the suburbs over here? Okay, cute little church. And then we can upgrade the school now as well. Let's go back and find the school. Yeah, so I do like this. This is really nice, how we can upgrade certain service assets. It changes the appearance and the capacity, and then obviously becomes more expensive to upkeep as well. I do find that to be quite cool. Okay. It is quite a good looking game though. It doesn't take that much getting used to. So why don't we upgrade some of our streets in front of the government buildings now? See if we can make them a little fancier. Maybe bring some trees and tarmac out the front. Let's do the same here again as well. And then up here. Hopefully this shouldn't bankrupt us. There we go. Is there a theme to what buildings spawn like in European or vanilla, or does this take place in a specific country? Not that I've found out yet, no. They just kind of grow within their own styles, so high, medium and low density. There is quite a nice variation in kind of assets and stuff, without kind of looking too heavily repeated. Kind of get a little spice sample as to how everything's looking here down on the street level. Sims are a little janky, a little polygonal, but it's fine, we can live with that. Can you downgrade them to as needs change? I don't think you can downgrade, no. No, there is only an upgrade option, which is a little bit unfortunate, but yeah, that would have been nice to have a downgrade option. Okay. So we want to hit 4K population now, to continue to expand our little residential grid pattern that's developing. And actually make sure we fill it all out as well before we carry on. Probably just explain, so sorry for asking, but can you please quickly explain what this game is? Yeah, it's a... What's the terminology I used? A social and political sandbox city simulator. So it's kind of like cities in the terms that you're building a city, right? But there's all kind of social and religious and immigration issues to deal with. So a lot more real life than Cities is in that regard. But not nearly as good of a city simulator as Cities is, I think, is the take-home point. Some soft jazz as well. Yes, please, everyone. Let's enjoy some soft jazz on the channel together for the first time, shall we? Alright. So a little city centre's going up here, right? Department of Immigration in now. So we'll slowly build up our government. So we have the government headquarters, we have the immigration, and then we're now waiting for a bunch of these buildings to unlock down here. So we can pop the next stage of the government headquarters at 25k population, which means we can then upgrade the main building, right? So it's a lot of kind of upgrading stuff. If anyone ever played SimCity Societies, that kind of had some similar mechanics as well, but that was a pretty niche game. I don't think too many people actually played that. It was good though. Came back in like 2000. No, it wasn't that early, maybe like 2004, 2005, something like that. It was good. Okay, so we just got really small demands now. Let's continue to bring all this out. Put some public market and retail demand in the heart of the community. Yeah, that'll be a good shout. We can get some stuff in there once the budget allows for it. Great soundtrack as well. Really good soundtrack. Okay, so we've got some water shortages. Let's go ahead and throw in another water tower. Let's just stick it over here for right now. So just kind of keeping your eye on the tabs down here in the bottom left, right? Kind of all your city vitals. How much is that public market actually? Oh yeah, it does cost 0. So there's some state-owned buildings here, which is kind of a cool mechanic. So they're housing and industry and commercial. But rather than being, you know, privately owned businesses like all the zoned are, they're actually owned by the state. So they're kind of a good way to satisfy demands outside of zoning, from what I take from that anyway. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. Okay, let's maybe bring in a little public market around the centre of town that's developing here. Looks like we can afford maybe a few more roads. So we'll drop a little public market in here. And then we'll box this off, I suppose. See what we can do. Let's also have a look at getting some parks into. There is some like cute little basketball courts here, which work nicely up against some of the roads. The only thing you have to be really careful about is how the terrain functions with the infrastructure. You can really take away from the look if you let this happen too often. But it's not too bad. You can usually just come in like your smooth terrain tools and take a little bit out of it if you want. Let's maybe level this out to the back of the basketball fields. So you can kind of hide it like that, okay? What is the one or more feature this game is missing from cities and vice versa? Diagonal roads. You are locked into the grid in Citystate. You cannot move it. Maybe they'll do that in an update to bring in some diagonal roads maybe. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah. Hey Tess, welcome to stream. Can't hear anything in class, just heard to alert, no problem. I think Eggs is doing the same. Thank you for showing up, Tess. And hey Tor Canone, am I pronouncing that right? Welcome to the stream, mate. Okay, let's pop our game on 3 speed. Start moving through some population. Let's get a little look at that public market now as well. So this is one that can't be upgraded. but still pretty nice. It also was nice in our little kind of heart of the community here, right? So we will eventually build an airport. So weirdly enough, kind of, you know, in cities, airports are one of the last thing you place, but here they're one of the first to bring immigrants in. Okay, so we can't turn on another generator, so let's go ahead and buy ourselves another diesel plant, which will knock us up to 68 power consumption. That's fine. We're also lacking healthcare and police at the minute, but we'll come to them in a minute. Let's get to 4K population first. And we can maybe start introducing a little bit of high density somewhere as well. We want to bear in mind those layers of height, so why don't we work on a little bit of high density over here. Let's bring some more of these gravel roads down. No connecting to here for the time being. So yeah, I think if you're looking for maybe a little break from cities skylines, and a return to what you would consider kind of an old school city sim, Citystate very much meets that that criteria. Okay, yeah, so we're moving a little more civil rights here. We've got to satisfy the plebeians, okay. And then about unemployment, yeah, this is all kind of bog standard stuff. A land value layer. So again, you know, everyone that's played cities will be familiar with this. And then traffic jams as well, so let's have a little look at the traffic overlay. So, you know, kind of similar to cities, it kind of highlights roads that aren't really red. Like, is this high traffic? Seems okay to me. But there's no numbers, it's just overlays. There's no data behind the traffic, I think. Actually, there is, isn't there? There is. I'm lying to you all. It's here somewhere. It's, I've seen a traffic stat before, haven't I? I can't remember where it is, but there is somewhere where it shows traffic anyway. Oh, Ritik Singh with a 40 rupee super chat. Love from Indie Brother, learned a lot from you. Thank you so much, Ritik. That's really generous, dude. And I'm glad. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you've learned a lot. Appreciate the super chat, buddy. Thank you. Okay, so now we'll build the airport. So why don't we eye up a little spot for the airport, okay? Let's maybe bring it down off of the back of this road over here. And then we'll go ahead and place that in. Let's go for tab to rotate. So the airport can be upgraded as well. So, you know, it kind of starts out as a cute little airfield. And we can take this through 5 different upgrade levels, which will eventually turn it into, I know, an international airport. At that final stage, just level the terrain out around the back of it so it's not quite as weird. There we go. Okay, cool. Not bad. So yeah, let's get some services in. So we're making some fairly decent money now. I'm not sure how much the services are. Fire station's 130. Yeah, we need a little bit of let's maybe bring some of the tax rates up. Okay. Start bringing in some more money. Let's also continue to work on our government complex here as well, because I want to start bringing in some commercial around this. Also want to level out all the terrain as well. So we'll see how that goes. Let's bring it up to here. And then here as well. Okay. Hey Rich, welcome to the stream. And Alison as well. Hello people. I've missed the beginning as I've tried to work out why I couldn't comment. Now I can focus on what you're doing. Hey Alison. Was you having trouble commenting? I'm not sure why. Let's turn our traffic overlay off here as well. Hey Shaky Snake, welcome to the stream, mate. So we've got some demand for middle income housing. This is nice. Let's keep these residentials coming in all around this town square that's starting to develop. It's been very hard breaking out of my quite modular mindset that I use in cities for playing this game. Okay, You should feel honoured. Shaky's here. It's almost 7 AM where he is. So welcome to the stream, Shaky. Good morning, mate. Hope you're okay. So why don't we design a little entrance into our government square on this side, alright? I think we'll actually upgrade this one here into just street without trees. There we go. Kind of a little bit too spicy with all them trees on the side, right? So we'll come into parks and we have... there's a kind of a whole bunch of different options here that you can kind of glue them together. It's kind of nice. So why don't we run 2 pedestrian pathways to go parallel with the street. See if we can make this look nice. And then we can have 2 of these plaza looking things at the head. And that kind of highlights our main street a little bit more, right? Of course we want to make it as detailed as possible. And I think, can we draw the little pathways out of the plazas? I think we can, right? Okay, so they kind of like stick into each other like this. It's a little strange how it works. It takes some getting used to. Let's delete that though. Let's make sure our houses are still continually coming in. Maybe start bringing in some high density around here now too. Why don't we go for this one? Let's delete the roads. Let's do the terraforming first. There we go. That's what we want. So we'll hopefully start seeing some taller buildings beginning to appear. Start bringing some high density on this little corner. And then maybe a little bit more retail demand around the side of the public market as well. See what we can do with that. It's not like in cities, right? So for those that watch my how to start guide for cities skylines, you know that we like a very expensive start to the city using like arterial roads straight away. You can't do that here. Your city instantly dies if you use anything other than gravel roads. At the start, that is. So that's a little bit of a learning curve as well. The start of the game is definitely a lot different. Okay. Nice. Let's check our legislation. So how about some entrepreneurship? So mandatory entrepreneurship classes in high schools. Or we can go for mandatory entrepreneurship program for all young adults. Okay, it's $9. Let's go for that one. That's going to give us 1 point into economic freedom index as well, which is good. And then pensions again, 2. We can get another 2% on the social ladder and 1 point to civil rights if we go for a state-funded pension. So let's do that as well. Okay. Got to catch another live stream a bit late to the party though. Don't want to miss anything, so going back to the start of the stream. No worries, Jamie. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Okay. Assets in this game are super nice. Yeah, they are. It's quite a unique looking game, I think, isn't it? Definitely has its own style. If not slightly inspired by SimCity's 4000 and 3000. Just, I was browsing the Reddit for this game the other day, and if you're not a fan of the grid, then you won't enjoy this game. There's a lot of people whinging about having to play constantly gridded. But you can make it work. You can make it work. Okay, let's keep a look at our vitals here. So, would be nice. Let's pop our game on 3 speed. Let's keep getting those taxpayers in. So very much like Chirper, you're going to kind of get city notifications here. So citizens are struggling to find job opportunities. So we can probably, align this with the fact that we're all positive in our retail and industrial demands. So we definitely got more demanding for that. Start bringing some more in. Start getting in some high density. industry as well. The boxy style looks harder to work with somehow. Yeah, definitely takes some getting used to. There's not as much freedom as you get with cities, but I don't think it's a game, because I was speaking with the developer, I don't think it's a game that's trying to compete with cities. It's very much trying to be its own sub-branch of simulator, I think. Which it has the potential to do. It certainly does. It really does. Okay, so we've got insufficient power, and we have placed in another power generator, so just a case of turning on the next one. Yes, please, and then we drop back down to 77% consumption. Do you have police, firefighters, and hospitals? Yeah, there is some public services here. There's hospitals, fire stations, and police, but they're very expensive. So the hospital's $6.50 a month, which is crazy. So we can afford the fire station now. So why don't we place this down here? Maybe on this corner. So again, this is another one that can be upgraded through 2 stages to increase its coverage. Is this a demo? No, the game came out last Wednesday, I think, was it? I think it was last Wednesday. Yeah. Let's have another look at our budget. Got another water shortage as well. And Egg, thank you for naming the city after me. Are you the home planet of the Asari test? If so, then you are welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Grid looks more like Phoenix. It does, doesn't it? It does. Are all the houses and lots the same size? The way the zoning works, it's like a click and drag system, so they can be a couple of different sizes. So let's just grab low density for right now. So you can kind of do it like they're always 4 deep if you like, but you can kind of change the width of them as you drag. And you have no control over that really. It just kind of does it. Let's put that over here as well. It's like getting some commercial on the high street. Although, we are going to probably rip all this out, aren't we? So, I think we'll do that now, actually. Before anything else starts to develop here, let's briefly pause the game, and then we're going to rip everything out along this road and upgrade it into arterial now. So we'll take it all out. Let's leave the game on pause, and then we'll grab the avenue. We want to align this side. Okay, and then let's add all those connections back in that we're missing. Did someone summon me for Mass Effect lore? Yeah, Dia's here, isn't she? Yeah, check out the name of the city, Dia, at the top of the screen. As always. Everything's always named after Mass Effect, isn't it? Okay, I think we're good. Everyone happy? Did I delete the school? I think I did, didn't I? Yes, I did. I did delete the school. Okay. That's fine. Let's play the game. Okay. See you later, Rach. Let's see what Rach said bye. I think she's already gone. It's nice to have the Aussies in the stream, isn't it? We don't usually see the Aussies this time. Need a magnifying glass to read that? Yeah, on the top menu here. I can't make it bigger, sorry. It does say Thessia. I am willing to deal with the greedy nature, but them inclines have got to be updated. You said you talked to the dev, we're going to need smoother hills, mate. I'm not involved in the development process, Casino. We exchanged emails when I got early access. I'm not sure how much influence I can have over the direction of the game. But certainly. We can always feedback from the community, right? So how are my little public markets doing here? Let's see how these are going. Let's bring these game on 3 speed. So probably at the point now where we could do with a little bit of healthcare. Now I'm still here. Oh, you're saying bye to the old mate Stuart? Alright, okay. no worries, Rach. Okay, probably a good idea to rework all these connections down here now as well. Let's come ahead and grab that wider road again, the avenue. And then keep everyone crossing over. So hopefully you guys can kind of see how the roads are working. It's like, it really is like you're painting the texture of the road rather than painting the road itself. It's kind of hard to describe. Do I have to manage traffic? There is a traffic overlay, but it's not that in depth. Just kind of highlights a little bit of red where there might be some potential choke points. So right here, this would be a good point to probably upgrade this into a street now. So let's get all that on in. And turn the traffic off. So yeah, it's not focusing much on traffic management, I don't think. Okay, so we're making 1,000 a month now. Let's continue to add in some public services. Let's maybe go for a hospital. Again, probably over here by our commercial is going to be nice. And again, another upgradable building. We just keep moving through the ranks, right? So that's going to give us 64 on our health overlay. It does kind of highlight people, right? So there's not too much information with this. I'm guessing that the green are healthy people and the yellow are suffering from liver failure, maybe? Don't know. Doesn't really tell us that much, but we'll just bear with it, alright? So that'll eat a big portion out of our budget. Let me have a little drink here. Hey Joy, welcome to the stream, and James as well. How is everyone? We've got 62 people here, guys. Thank you so much for showing up. I did not expect this many of you here. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Want to play this game, but I don't have a PC. Have to find a PC then, dude. You should be able to run it on like a laptop. It's not super kind of hardware intensive, I don't think. Okay, let's keep up zoning up some residential. We really want to start encompassing the kind of main town centre. In a lot more zoning here today. Want to relocate our water towers at some point too. Okay, so the next one that we want to move towards now if we research our special buildings is 25k population. We'll get the Department of Commerce, which again will unlock more policies for us to play with. So we have more power problems. Did we turn on the generator? I think we did, didn't we, right? Yes, we did. Cool. Let's place another one then. Enough about that. Okay. Let's start upgrading a few more of these nicer roads into streets. So you definitely can't be doing the streets at the start. It just totally bankrupts the city. Gonna have a bad time. Okay, nice. There's that classic empathy. Get a PC then, mate. Was that a little bit too harsh? Was it? Should be able to run the game on a laptop. It's not that intensive. I do like this as well. As we hover over the demands in the bottom left, just shows a little number as to what their value is, and then it slowly fades away. I really like that. That's such a nice little quality of life change from cities. It's very cute. Okay, so we're all very low density at the minute, aren't we? We are all quite low density. How are we doing for another religious building? Let's maybe go ahead and throw in a mosque somewhere. Let's see. Let's go for over on this corner. What's up, Egg? What's up, Zaki? Welcome to the stream, buddy. How are you? Okay, so we could probably do the high school at some point as well. This beast does cost 400 a month, which is pretty pricey. It's going to slot in there fine. Should we get on board with that? Again, another upgradable building through 2 separate stages. So it's pretty cool. This road isn't what I want it to be though. Let's redraw that one in. There we go. Cool. So let's have a look at upgrading the airport maybe, because we're getting not enough migrants or babies to fuel the economy. So let's have a look at the border controls. So let's maybe allow some more people in from developing and developed countries. Maybe a touch more on this actually. So this is giving us minus 195% airport connections. So the negative value indicates there is not enough airport connections to serve all potential migrants. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's maybe get some more taxpayers in first, because that's going to up it fairly significantly, isn't it? Oh, did I delete my firehouse? Did I not put my fire station back in? Noops. No, I didn't. That's fine. Let's put the fire station down then. We're getting some big chungus demand now for residential. Now we've opened the borders, so let's make sure we satisfy that before the slums start to appear. Hey Tim. Welcome to the stream, mate. And Rich as well. Some city action. How's it going? It's going alright, mate. We're just kind of exploring the game together. Seeing how everything functions, how friendly everyone is. But we've got 65 of you here though. I really appreciate that. I didn't think we'd get such a turnout for Citystate2. So we'll do some regular zoning here, right? So these will become private homes. You know, they will pay tax on them and whatnot. But I also want to see how exploitable the public housing mechanic is. Because I feel like if we can just own all the housing, that would be very overpowered. So we'll see. So you can only build grids in this game. Yeah, it's all gridded, mate. It's all locked into a grid. There's no diagonal or curved roads here. Okay, so let's get some public housing down. So it's going to state owned, and then why don't we throw in a little public housing unit here. We do want to level the terrain first though, because it's a little bit jank central at the minute. Okay. So then why don't we do some cute little individual road networks for these state homes actually. See if we can kind of box them in around each other. See if we can get some nicer designs in. Okay. Yeah, I've spent all my money, so we need to let the game play on 3 speed. Flashbacks into cities. Okay. So citizens are struggling to find job opportunities. Our hospital's overfunded. So it gives us this message. Where do we put our hospital? It's over here, isn't it? Physicians. Yeah, so we can reduce the monthly cost ever so slightly by reducing the number of physicians on the hospital. That's going to be fine. And how are we doing for teaching as well? Still 14. Let's bring it down a little bit too. Okay, so we'll start to see some high density. Here's one of those kind of state-owned homes, right? Is it more about politics and policies? I find that intriguing. Yeah, very much kind of leaning into all this stuff, Alison, with your government types and approval from the left on the right on, you know, policies and tax rates and unemployment and stuff. And you get protests in the city from the left or the right as well, depending on kind of how heavily you're leaning into their preferred policies and whatnot. And legislation on like private schools, corruption, state-owned social media, housing benefits, alcohol and tobacco. Yeah, so it's very much, I mentioned it in the video, it's much more of a country simulator as opposed to just a single city, if that makes sense. Let's leave the game on 3 speed here. I need to get some money in the bank. Getting a little bit of retail demand too, so let's start to hopefully satisfy that. Let's come back onto using gravel roads a little bit while we're short on cash. Because if you have a look at your budget, a huge amount of it is eaten up by transport. So this is obviously our roads. So we're spending 870 a week on roads. So you really have to stick with the gravel when you start out. Start bringing in some smaller, lighter density as well. Okay. There appears to be a lot of fires. It does, it's because I deleted my fire station. So there's no one putting them out. Yeah, so you see here how I've not zoned this correctly. So there's now, it won't let me zone a 3 deep zone. So stuff like that's kind of annoying, but you can get around it. So we're coming up on water and power production now. So let's turn on another generator. Yes, please. And then, is it a point now where we want to build a water pumping station? These are 90 a week, and yeah, it's still more cost effective to get another power pump, water pump even. Water tower is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so we have more approval from the left. But we have more right-wing citizens here. Our unemployment rate is falling too. Okay. So then I'm guessing the process here is if we start leaning too far or too left and you don't want to develop into a fascist dictatorship, for example, and this is where you come into legislation then and start kind of balancing it all out to move it back to the other side. So it's kind of like any other city simulator game, right, in terms it's just one giant balancing act. Jank Central, can we name transport hubs? Not yet. Not yet, you can't. Okay, let's continue zoning up here. Maybe bring in a few more of these state-owned homes. Let's go for a regular one here, right? Maybe we mix and match this with a little bit of high density as well. See what happens there. Okay. We've had real protests here in Melbourne recently. I think part of me is always trying to fix the world, which is why I play these kind of games. You'd probably enjoy it then, Alison. You probably would enjoy it. It's definitely unique, and I haven't played Tropico either, and I've had quite a few people in comment sections saying it's basically like Tropico without the fun, because I think Tropico's quite satirical in its delivery, I think, isn't it? I've never played it, so that could be wrong. But yeah, I've been told it's just quite similar to Tropico. It's not really a good advert for, is it? For the game though, is it? It's like Tropico without the fun. Do you want to play now? Yeah, don't use that as the advertising slogan. What kind of transport options come with it? There is some public transport. It's like a little train. So you draw in your tracks. I can't afford to place it at the minute, but yeah, it's essentially like a light rail, like a little train. And then obviously airports as well. The public transport isn't that fleshed out. If that's what you're looking for, then you won't find it here. Okay, let's rework this little path design that's appearing here now. Let's come up with another little pedestrian alley. So unfortunately, the pedestrian alleys don't actually get used, which is kind of super annoying, because that would have been really nice, but whatever, we'll deal with it. Let's bring in some more zoning here, and then we can use that as a border to bring our path against. Maybe a little something down here. It does kind of auto sort itself when you move up a tier on the blocks. So you can kind of see what I was referring to in the video, right, with how this functions like Minecraft. Like, you know, you're chiseling away these little individual blocks, or you can raise them up and keep taking them up if you want. So you have to get used to that kind of blocky delivery system. I looked at Tropico and Steam this week, that looked interesting too. Yeah, I've never played Tropico, but kind of similar to this from what I've heard apparently. Okay, let's bring in a little more commercial zoning maybe. Okay, and I think we're going to go and upgrade our airport now as well. This should let more people in. So let's go for... It takes it to 970 a month and obviously changes the appearance. Okay, so we're getting some manufacturing demand. Let's continue to meet that. We're going to need some more power in a second as well. So I can imagine this game really starts to play quite a lot differently once you move into your kind of other cities and surrounding cities. So at the minute, you know, we're only building the capital city. So there's still many more